Hello and welcome to Blue Water Beat on M6, your hometown station. I'm Josh Muir, and our news staff has been working hard the past couple of weeks gathering news from around the city. Let's start our show with a comprehensive discussion about how academics and athletic combine to make our student athletes more successful. Emma Hondinsky spoke with administrators, coaches, and athletes about how the programs benefit children.
Athletics are a way for students to interact with others and learn life lessons. At Marysville High School, we take pride in both our athletic and academic success. Students benefit from participating in sports as well as their academics. Administrators, students, and coaches all see the importance of athletics in our school. Coach, Vice Principal, and Athletic Director, Mr. Tom Velko, describes the importance of athletics in our academic success.
Well, I mean, all the research says that, busy students are successful students, so I think the athletic part of it as well as our extracurriculars just play a big role in a student's academic success. We're lucky enough to have hardworking students here, good coaches, and I think that forms a lot of the culture that we have at Marysville High School with the athletics and all the extracurriculars that we have and our outstanding academics. It's kind of what makes us what we are.
Mr. Jamie Kane, our superintendent, also stresses the importance of athletics in the academic process.
Sports and extracurriculars really allow students to develop as whole people and as whole individuals. Academics are important, they're at the heart of what we do in a school, but athletics and extracurriculars such as the fine arts really help students become well-rounded young people and young adults as they move into their adult careers and their college choices. So athletics are a powerful motivating factor. I've seen many examples through my career where athletics really help students focus in, learn discipline, learn work ethic, learn collaboration and teamwork, and learn how to be successful.
From a student perspective, Liz Sturtridge explains what she learns by participating in athletics.
To be involved at sports in Marysville High School, it's a really big honor and privilege because you learn a few intangibles that school can't always teach you, like leadership and time management and responsibility for not only yourself but your team.
Being involved in activities around the school is how students connect to their community. Principal Bill Farnsworth explains his philosophy of getting students involved in extracurricular activities.
Sports programs at Marysville High School provide a niche for our students to feel special about above and beyond the academic classes that they have. I think it's an opportunity for them to display some of their skills and get their parents involved when they have their games. They can come and watch them in the evening. So I think it's very important for all of our students to be involved, whether it's in sports or other extracurricular activities like band or choir, for their families to make a connection to Marysville High School.
Some students find that athletics are what help them find a group of friends and support. Teacher and coach Ryan Buer talks about this.
I think if somebody's struggling in school, it might give them a support group to rely on, maybe in helping them. It also focuses, if they're really passionate about a sport, I think it focuses their attention in school because they have to pass in order to play.
Even after the Marysville School District implemented a fee to participate in athletics, there was no decrease in the numbers of students who tried out. Superintendent Kane describes the reasoning behind adding the pay-to-participate athletic fee in the district.
Our Board of Education made the decision, along with our administration, that we needed to look at a small fee for students to participate. We certainly don't have the highest rates in the county, but we're right in the middle of the field. And we held out as long as we could, but certainly felt that we needed to put a small fee in place as the economy warranted us to do that.
Mr. Farnsworth justifies the need for this fee.
It hasn't limited our participation. It's just the way the economy is in Michigan. We have to have a balanced budget district-wide. And years ago, we used to pay for driver's education for all of our students. And today, no schools in Michigan are doing that. The students have to pay to do that. So as far as pay to participate, I wish we didn't have to do that, but I think it's necessary that we do to have a balanced budget.
Mr. Tom Velko and Mr. Ryan Ratchey point out reasons why pay to participate is worth the money.
Most families think it's a pretty good investment for $125 to be involved in a positive experience like that. I mean, many of these parents are paying $4, $5, $6, $800, even $1,000 throughout the summer, you know, to help to aid in various AAU programs to help the student in the sport. And really the $125 fee is, you know, although it is still money, it's a rather small amount compared to a lot of the money that goes into preparing our athletes.
Even more students will try more sports because they pay one fee for the whole year, unlike some schools where they pay by the sport. So maybe it encourages some to try additional sports too.
Unfortunately, with the economy, a fee to participate in sports might be difficult to pay for some families. The school has taken that into consideration. Administrators and coaches do not want any student to be excluded from athletics due to their economic status.
As we do have a fund set up, we never will allow a student not to participate because they can't pay the fee. We will help them out with that athletic fee if need be. And with today's economy, it does happen. And you know, it happens quite a bit, and we just help those people out. It's not a big deal.
You know, I really don't think it's decreased our involvement with our students at all. We've had donations from individual contributors that has helped us cover costs. If any student were to have a potential financial hardship, there is help available on an individual basis, and we haven't really seen a decrease in our involvement with athletics. And again, we have help available on an individual basis if anyone ever needed that.
Athletics and other extracurricular activities make students more responsible and better at budgeting their time. Student athletes Brady Beaton and Liz Sturridge express the importance of managing your time while being involved in sports.
Managing the time with your extracurricular activities is one of the biggest challenges of it. You know, obviously the classroom comes first, but if you can manage to manage your academics and your sports, then you will be able to have a very positive experience with this and be able to have some of the times of your life.
Well, being a three-sport athlete, I have to manage my time pretty well. I always try to get my homework done before like a swim meet or a track meet or a basketball game so that I have more time to not worry about my homework and focus on the game.
Teacher Ryan Ratchey agrees with the student athletes that academics will always be a higher priority than sports.
Well, the number one reason that we're here is to prepare students for after high school. And as a teacher, you know, the focus should be on academics first. The sports teaches a lot of lessons and is very, very important too. But I think taking care of business in the classroom should be their first priority.
Vice Principal Valco explains how involvement in sports can better your academic success.
You know, any research you look up and you look at the average grade point of our athletes and our involved students versus the average grade point of students that aren't involved in extracurriculars or athletics, athletics and extracurricular wins out every time.
Here at Marysville High School, we stress the importance of good grades. Student athletes have to do well in the classroom in order to play their sport. Our weekly eligibility program is how Marysville checks to make sure student athletes are performing in the classroom.
But I think our eligibility program is an outstanding one. It's checked weekly. A lot of schools, the state only says that you have to go on semester eligibility, and you know, a lot of schools only check every 6 weeks. But by doing the weekly check, we can stay up on top of grades. The coaches can stay on top of grades, and our coaches all stress academics and want to do well academically. So, you know, I think the eligibility process that we have only helps it.
Coach Bewer connects academics with athletic success.
Well, I think both of them are linked. I mean, it's student athletes, and if you can't cut it in the classroom, it's very hard to cut it, you know, on the field or in the gym. So I think they both coincide with each other, and successful students make successful athletes, and it goes, you know, the other way.
Viking athletes take pride in performing for their school and community.
To be a Marysville Viking athlete, you know, it's basically to make memories I'll never forget, you know, to come together with a team, you know, feel like a band of brothers, and, you know, it's something you'll never feel the rest of your life, and you got to take advantage of it while you're in high school.
To be a Marysville Viking athlete is such an honor, such a privilege, because I put on my swimsuit or my jersey every game and every competition, and I feel like I not only represent myself, but my team and my school and my community. So it's a really big honor.
Being involved in athletics at Marysville High School creates memories and experiences that students will carry with them for the rest of their lives. All the time spent in the gym, the pool, and on the field must be balanced with time in the classroom for the ultimate victory.
Thank you, Emma, for that comprehensive look into academics and athletics. Now we'll turn our attention to the annual traditions of class rings and cap and gowns. Mr. Jason Vandermaas, our Jostens rep, spoke with Morgan Fleming to better explain their products and their procedures.
Throughout the fall, our Jostens representative has been making periodic visits with our sophomore and senior class to share information about the products Jostens offers to make a memorable high school experience. The sophomore class attended a seminar to learn about class rings and how to design them themselves. We invited our Jostens representative, Jason Vandermaas, to the studio to answer some questions about class rings and senior announcements. We asked Mr. Vandermaas if he thought that class rings are as popular as they once were.
At class rings, different parts of the country, they're more popular, but they're still popular with everybody, and all the options that they have and what Jostens offers is the wide variety that suits everybody, and they are as popular now as they were years ago.
Then we asked, what is the significance of a class ring to students?
A class ring gives you an opportunity to tell your story. It lasts a lifetime. The design asides and the personalization you can get in a class ring really lets you tell your story in the form of a class ring.
Mr. Vandermaas explains how students can go about designing and personalizing their own class rings.
The best way to do it, we have been in Marysville already, but the best way to do it is to go online to jostens.com, and there's a ring designer on there, and you can design your ring at any time, and your ring will come to your house about a month later.
Jostens also offers graduation apparel and preparation tools for seniors. First, we asked him about the type of products that are available for the class of 2014.
There's a number of apparel items that we offer, from jewelry to class rings to cap and gown to hoodies, sweatpants, tassels. It's really something for everyone.
To participate in graduation, Mr. Vandermaas tells us the necessary products to purchase for the commencement ceremony.
Well, all seniors definitely need a cap and gown if they're going to participate in graduation, and a tassel. And if you have not ordered that yet, you can do that on jostens.com, but there are a lot of things that other people may want: a tassel for their rearview mirror, a lot of extras, and those are all available at jostens.com.
He informed us that there is no deadlines for class rings and graduation apparel because there is always an online option available.
There's no deadline to get graduation gowns or class rings. You can order right up until a couple days before graduation. However, if you need to get something the next day, there's some costs that will be incurred with that. But that being said, we always have extras here when we pass out the graduation rehearsal, when we pass out the cap and gowns.
Graduation activities and class rings are always memorable. Be sure to check out when Mr. Vandermaas is back in the building. For M6 Television, I'm Morgan Fleming. Thanks for watching.
Hard to believe we're even talking about cap and gowns already, but graduation will be here before we know it. By the way, have you seen all the Chromebooks in our high school students' hands this fall? Kyra Biskarner spoke with Mr. Farnsworth and Mr. Kit Hard to learn more about the technology initiative.
Students at Marysville High School use technology in their everyday lives. Whether it's their smartphone or their iPod, students are always plugged in. This year, Marysville High School administrators and the Board of Education have decided to take this one step further by providing each student with a Google Chromebook. A Google Chromebook is a portable laptop powered by the Google Chrome operating system. Chromebooks have very little memory, and all work is automatically saved to each student's online Google Drive in the cloud. Google Docs and many other educational sites are readily available for students to use in each class. Mr. Kit Hard, a technology specialist for the Marysville Public Schools, explains a little more about the Chromebooks.
It's kind of an interesting device. It's sort of this new breed of technology that is partially modeled off of tablets, like the iPad or some of the Android tablets. And then it's also sort of like a laptop, and it isn't quite either device. Really, the way that a Chromebook works is that it accesses the internet through the Chrome browser, and it has a keyboard attached to it so that you can type on it. And it doesn't really have a deeper level of operating system for installing software or running programs. It really is designed just to run the internet and that Chrome browser.
Last year, Marysville Middle School students received Apple iPads, a tablet device to assist them in their classes. Mr. Farnsworth, Marysville High School principal, answers why the Marysville High School decided on Google Chromebooks instead of Apple iPads.
we really had two choices regarding one-on-one devices, iPads and Chromebooks. So we took our time and researched and surveyed what were beneficial, what pros and cons for each device. And we found that at the high school level, Chromebooks are definitely most beneficial for our students. And again, it helps them for those post-secondary opportunities. The iPads are a great tool, but it's probably better, we found it to be better for middle school and maybe elementary.
Students have learned to use the Google Chromebooks quickly and effectively, and have even agreed that the Google Chromebooks have helped them in their classes. Morgan Clark, a junior at Marysville High School, explains how she uses her Google Chromebook each day.
We use them a lot in classes. They help with group projects, so you can share the documents with each other so everyone can work on it at the same time.
She also explains how she uses it in her AP World History class with Mrs. Saha.
We have a lot of assignments on her Weebly that will open, and she posts all of her PowerPoints on there so we can add notes to them as she's giving her lectures.
Students and administrators agree that technology is always evolving. Mr. Kit Hard describes how the Chromebooks continue to evolve.
Well, one of the things that's interesting about the Chromebook is that it's sort of always updating and always becoming a current technology, because it's really just based around the internet, and the internet is something that is probably never going to go away. Devices come and go. The internet is sort of this stable part of what will be a learning piece for most students. So this Chromebook device is really unique in that it doesn't outdate itself as quickly as maybe other types of tools, because it's really not about the hardware, it's about the ability to access the internet in the background.
At Marysville High School, most students find using their Chromebooks to be a helpful and fun way to study and to learn the material better. Many agree that the Chromebooks help extend the classroom to students at anywhere and any time. Students believe the Chromebooks were a great idea and are excited to see what the future brings with the Chromebooks.
Those Chromebooks certainly are helpful. I'm using mine right now as a teleprompter for this segment. We appreciate the Board of Education's effort to keep us prepared for the future. Now, let's step out of the building to visit a very special M6 Communication Art sponsor, the Marysville American Legion. Several weeks ago, Veterans Day was observed across the country. Tyler Blankenship asked Legion Commander Rick Sumrall how our Legion posts celebrate.
Veterans honorably serve our country. Upon their return home, they have a variety of organizations that they can join. Commander of our local American Legion, Mr. Rick Sumrall, tells us more about the American Legion.
American Legion is a mutual aid social organization. It was created by veterans for veterans around 1919 in Paris, France. Teddy Roosevelt's oldest son was the creator. He was lieutenant colonel in the Army at the time. So he got it together after World War I because morale was dropping in the troops. So they created it then. As a matter of fact, the first American Legion meeting was held in Paris, France in 1919. Since then, it's become advocate for veterans as far as lobbying Congress for veteran benefits, veteran aid, medical benefits for veterans after they get out. And it creates the place that we have here.
Next, Mr. Sumrall tells us about some traditions that the Legion has on military holidays such as Veterans Day.
Well, not so much activities hosted at each place. Veterans enjoy each other's company. November 11th at 11 o'clock in the morning is when the armistice was signed in 1918. And so Veterans Day at the time was Remembrance Day. But now it's celebrated every November 11th at 11 in the morning. So we gather at the cemetery up there to pay tribute to our brothers that are up there in the cemetery that went on before us. And then after that, we all get together and enjoy the company from everyone after that.
Mr. Sumrall tells us about how citizens can attend the American Legion functions.
Well, Legion is a private club. And you have to be a member or with a member. And if the member signs you in, then you're more than welcome to come in and join. But as far as coming in directly off the street to enjoy what the Legion has, no. It's governed by Congress, and So the answer for that would be no.
Next, Mr. Summerall tells us how someone can become a member.
First off, you serve in the service, you know. They go back through the years of World War I, World War II, Korean conflict, Vietnam War. They have Grenada and Lebanon during the 80s. And then from 2000 up to the current date is opened up because of Desert Storm and now, you know, the war in Iraq and then Afghanistan. Any veteran that's been honorably discharged is welcome to become a member here. And their sons or daughters are welcome to join auxiliaries or the Sons of the Legions. And through that, just a copy of their parents' paperwork, you know, and fill out the application and turn it in.
Mr. Summerall has one last request.
If you see a veteran, thank him for his service. If you meet a Vietnam veteran, tell him welcome home.
Wise words from a veteran himself. From all of us here at M6, we thank all veterans for their services to this country.
We truly are thankful for the dedication and service for all of our veterans. Now, let's head into the theater to get the scoop on this year's senior play with Alex Gray and Mr. Martin.
The 2013 senior play is fast approaching. With the cast chosen and the practices starting, we had to talk to this year's director, Mr. Martin. First, we had to find out what the senior play was going to be this year and what it's about.
Senior play this year is called Alice versus Wonderland. It's the original tale of the Lewis Carroll tale of Alice in Wonderland, but a little modern twist to it. Alice has an identity crisis as a teen, and she goes through the play and interacts with all the same characters as she would in the regular Alice in Wonderland, but every character she interacts with kind of changes her personality, and she's trying to figure out who she is as a person by the very end.
After finding out what it will be, Mr. Martin tells us how he thinks this year's play will compare to last year's.
It's totally different. Last year's play was a Western. More of a drama play with some funny parts in it, and this year it's a fantasy Wonderland a play. It's completely different. So it's pretty neat that the kids have a chance to see a lot of variety between the two plays that we've done.
He also told us the teachers co-directing are helping him out with the play.
Mrs. Holt helped me out with auditions, and Mr. Cavan, our theater technician, helped out with auditions, and he's also behind lighting and sound and some set design ideas and some staging ideas. And I've also been communicating with Mr. Dusso because he's been the play director for a few years now, and I had some questions for him on how to do tickets and run it and auditions and stuff. So yeah, I've had some really nice people help me out this year.
Mr. Martin tells us how other students could help out with the play, other than being a part of the cast.
They can help out. I need ticket takers at the door, people running publicity and getting the word out for the play in the community. And if they have any other questions or want to find out how they can help out, they're welcome to contact me or come down to the choir room and ask me whatever they want to about the play.
Thanks for joining us, Mr. Martin. That's all we have for now on M6, your hometown station. And don't forget to come see Alice versus Wonderland this December.
We hope you will mark your calendar and attend the senior play. Another group working behind the scenes to help the students is the yearbook staff. Steve Marak asked Cammie Bacon how the book is planned and organized.
Almost everybody in high school wants to buy a yearbook, but not many people know exactly what goes into the process of making the yearbook. We talked to Cammie Bacon and Morgan Clark about the making of Marysville High School's 2013 to 2014 yearbook.
We don't like to duplicate any pictures. Like if we take one picture, you'll only see it once in the yearbook. We don't put it like multiple times. We try to get everybody in the yearbook, not just the same people over and over. And we have, I think, about 144 pages.
Morgan tells us when the yearbook staff meets to work on the yearbook.
We meet every Monday during FIT, but most of my editing is actually done after school.
How has the way you do things changed with the advancement of the Chromebooks?
Since getting the Chromebooks, we've been able to do a lot of editing outside of our meetings. We meet like once a week, so it's only like for half an hour each week. So when we need to do more editing, we can use that during school and after school.
Morgan tells us what pages she enjoys designing the most.
My favorite pages are the Marysville Viking Regiment page and the musical page because we always get a lot of interesting pictures and they're fun to work with.
Cami tells us how many people it takes to make this year's yearbook.
This year we have 5 people, and then Ms. Barney, who's in charge of it. We have 3 juniors, including myself, and 2 sophomores.
Morgan also tells us how long it takes before they can make a final copy of the yearbook.
We edit periodically every week as it needs it, but the entire yearbook is due to print in the spring.
One of the great memories of high school is the yearbook. Make sure you purchase yours before it is too late. I'm Steve Marak on M6, your hometown station.
We've stayed pretty close to the building so far in our program, but let's go way out. To a new galaxy, perhaps? John Collins spoke with Mr. Jonathan Smith, a science teacher at Marysville High School, and a student, Jim Sturridge, about the newest discovery in space.
Astronomers have discovered the farthest galaxy away from the Earth. With the use of spectroscopy, the astronomers found traces of hydrogen, the main fuel for stars. The galaxy has been designated Z8 GND 5296, and it's estimated to be 18.6 billion years old. With the discovery of this new galaxy, we decided to ask some of the students and staff if they were interested in what else is still in space.
I guess everybody is always wondering if there's life in space. So have we found it yet? No. But have we found the conditions that could harbor and support life? They have.
Well, I'm interested in space because it's just so expansive, you know. You think about the world and how much landmass there is that we've all discovered. We've gone to the sea. We know pretty much every rock everywhere in the world. But space, we really just don't know anything. We know within a few 100,000 miles of space, and we know that there are planets somewhere. We just don't know anything about what else is out there.
Keeping with the topic of space, we asked what was their favorite aspect about space.
One of my favorite aspects about space is the whole idea of weightlessness. I'd very much in my lifetime love to experience that particular aspect.
Well, my favorite aspect of space is still that it's expansive, but truth be told, I'm deathly afraid of being in space. It sounds hypocritical, but space is interesting to look at when you're not in a tiny pressurized tube that could rupture at any time and kill you. So, I like the idea of looking at it and seeing cool places, but I'm afraid to go up.
Now, since Z8 GND 5296 is such a mouthful, we asked if they could rename it. What would it be called?
If I had the opportunity to name that new galaxy that was found far, far from here, I would expect it to be named after the guy who discovered it. But if we wanted to go a little bit on the fun side, to go along with our galaxy, I think it'd be fun to name it Snickers, to go along with the Milky Way.
I'd probably call it Our Last Hope, because at the rate we're just destroying our planet, we'll need somewhere else to go.
Now, the galaxy is, of course, the farthest galaxy from our own. We will not see this galaxy for a long time. I'm your host, John Collins, for your M6, your hometown station.
Scientists are continuing to make new discoveries and will continue to share more great information about Marysville High School after the break.
As a parent, hire a trusted friend or family member to watch your child. Make sure to ask if they have taken a babysitter safety course, and if not, encourage them to do so. Give your sitter important contact information, such as your phone number and the number of your family doctor. As the sitter, make sure you are comfortable with the family and know what is expected of you. Clarify feeding directions with the parents and be aware of any food allergies. Make sure to be watching the child at all times and never leave them alone for long periods. If the child is sleeping, check on them every 15 minutes. In case of any emergencies, dial 911. For more information on babysitting safety and to learn where to take a babysitting basics course, log on to redcross.org.
Endangered, a species seriously at risk for extinction. Hunting remains an ever-present threat on giant pandas today. The animals are poached for their fur. Although the hunting and poaching of pandas has become illegal, it does not stop these poachers from pursuing the hunting anyways. In some situations, while hunting other animals in the giant panda's habitat, pandas are accidentally killed, also adding to the endangerment of these gentle giants. With your help, we can bring these peaceful creatures out of endangerment. Go to www.worldpanda.org
worldwildlife.org and go to the Donate tab.
Obesity is a worldwide epidemic that leads to higher risks of strokes, heart attacks, and diabetes. Obesity has become a big issue in the past 20 years that even affects children. Obesity can be fought with exercise and healthy eating habits. With a well-balanced diet and as little as an hour exercise a day, an obese child or adult can get to a healthy weight in a few months. Here are some healthy eating tips to try. Set a realistic goal. Fill up on colorful fruits and vegetables. Limit sugars and salts. Add calcium for stronger bones. Healthy eating can lead to weight loss, stronger bones, a healthier brain, and an overall better feeling about yourself.
We've enjoyed sharing lots of great stories with you. Now we'll turn our attention back to the athletic programs. First, let's recap the fall sports season with Jacob Wright and Mr. Velko.
The Marysville Vikings fall sports season is coming to an end, and the Vikings have made it a season to remember. The athletes worked hard to accomplish great goals this season, and seniors played their last games with lots of passion and pride. Mr. Valco, the athletic director, told us which teams won championships this year.
We have golf was the MAC Blue champions. We did not have any other champions, but we had several other teams finish high in their division. Soccer was in second place with a 7-1 record. Tennis was a 5-1 record in third place. Our cross-country girls finished second with 11-3 record, and our football team finished third and is also a playoff team.
How are the teams doing academically?
So we did do very well in the fall. Academically, our all MAC academic teams, they will not be set yet until postseason meetings. But typically, to be all MAC academically, you have to have a 3.0 during your season. And we have well over 50% of our students, probably closer to 70% of our students will be all MAC academic.
Are any of our fall sports teams moving up and down a division?
Typically, there won't be a lot of movement. Our only one right now was football, and we're going to appeal to stay in the same division we're in. I don't see any other teams that are going to move up or down. Golf got asked to move up and wanted to move up, but that did not happen. So it looks like at the present time all our fall teams will stay in the same divisions. Even though it's an alignment year, they're going to stay in the same divisions that they were in this year.
Great job to all the fall sports teams, and we will be looking forward to seeing the Vikings do great next season.
Well, with the winter sports season upon us, let's look at the boys bowling team with Michael Gaffney and Jordan Dietz.
Marysville's 2012-2013 bowling team had a very accomplished season and is looking forward to the 2013-2014 season. One of this season's seniors, Jordan Dietz, talks about the last season's team's results and his season.
Our results from last year were pretty decent. We tied for the league, and we went to regionals, and we did all right as a team. I think this year we can do a lot better.
Jordan also tells us what he thinks the major changes will be from last year to this year.
Changes from last year are we have a new captain, and then as well as getting a new bowler with us, and we're going to be changing up the lineup and just doing what's best for the team instead of one bowler himself.
Next, Jordan tells us about the bowling team's chances of making regionals this year.
Our chances at regionals, I think, are going to be pretty high. We got a pretty good team, and we got good backups even if one goes down or if we're having a tough time, can't adjust to the oil patterns, then yeah, we got backups that can get the job done as well.
After that, Jordan tells us how having a new captain will impact the team.
A new captain will be good. We need our last captain. He was good. Gaining a new captain, we can see better results, I think. Just staying positive and just having fun with it, getting the job done.
Lastly, Jordan tells us about the strengths of this year's team.
Our strengths are definitely going to be our 1 through 5 lineup. We gained another bowler. He'll be our anchor. His name's Tyler Fields. Staying positive. That's the best thing, just having fun with it.
Sounds like Marysville's bowling team is headed for a great upcoming season. We wish them the best of luck with the 2013-2014 season.
Good luck to all of our bowlers and keep on rolling. Girls basketball season is ready to tip it off. The team is coming off consecutive championship seasons and is working hard to get another. Madison Velko told Dustin Lashbrook how the team is shaping up this year.
Hello and welcome to M6, your hometown station. Today we will be talking to Madison Velko, a Marysville Vikings basketball player, about this upcoming season. How many returning seniors do you have this year?
We have 4 returning seniors this year: Abby Davis, myself, Kelsey Husson, and Kirsten Rivard.
Who is your toughest opponent going to be this upcoming season?
Our toughest opponent is going to be probably Lakeshore this year because they were our opponent for our title conference last year, and hopefully we see them again this year.
Who is your biggest rival this season?
Our biggest rival this year would probably be Port Huron Northern because we have yet to beat them, even though they're not in our conference, and hopefully we get them on our first game.
What are your expectations for this year?
Our expectations this year is to get a 3-peat district title and 3-peat conference title this year.
Thanks, Maddie. We hope you and your team have a great season.
I'm sure Coach Rasky will have the team prepared for another run at the title. Speaking of titles, our wrestling team is looking to send more athletes to the state finals this year. Coach Meyer and the team are working hard as they prepare for their first match soon. Liz Sertrich had a moment to talk to senior Tyler Blankenship about his expectations for the season.
Marysville High School wrestling team has built a winning tradition over the past several years. With the season just around the corner, senior Tyler Blankenship tells us about some of the returning wrestlers.
Some of the key returners are Nick Dunlap, myself, Dallas Young, and Evan King. Most of them are seniors, but they've all put in really hard work and they're improving a lot throughout their career.
Tyler also tells us which teams will be the Vikings' greatest rivals for this year.
Some of our greatest rivals would be St. Clair and Port Huron Northern. Basically just like the local teams, and both of them have been pretty recent lately because we've been facing them quite a bit. So
Tyler then told us about their first meet and how he expects the turnout of the team.
Our first meet is at Algonac, and we're going to be facing St. Clair and Algonac. Both teams, they're pretty good, but we expect to beat them both, especially with all of our off-season work that we've been doing.
Finally, Tyler told us how the wrestling team has prepared for this year's season.
Some of our off-season work has been, we went to Ohio for the Jeff Jordan wrestling camp, and then we went up to the Upper Peninsula for the Boudreaux Brothers wrestling camp. Both were pretty tough, and they definitely helped our whole team improve.
It sounds like this year's team has great potential. From all of us here at M6, we wish Tyler and the wrestling team good luck.
Liz Sturridge has been busy catching up with all the winter athletes. Now she tells interviewed Tommy Butler about the Viking boys swim team. I'm sure they're ready to make some waves in the pool and in the area rankings.
Boys swim season is fast approaching, and in order to prepare for the season, we are here with junior Tommy Butler to answer some questions about the upcoming season. Who are the captains this year?
Our captains this year are seniors Jim Sturridge, Mike Russa, and Cody Gauthier. They've all been on the team for 4 years, so basically the whole time they've been in high school. And Jim was a captain last year, so I think we have a solid set of captains this year.
How does this year's team differ from last year's team?
This year's team is going to have a lot more new swimmers compared to last year's team because we lost a lot of seniors, and so we'll have to spend a little bit more time at the beginning of the season just working with them and trying to teach them the basics of how to do all the stuff.
What will be the biggest obstacle this season?
I think our biggest obstacle this season would be the fact that we have to fill all the holes in our lineup from all the seniors that left this year. Like Garrett McCormick was a huge part of our team, and we're going to have to find a few people to pick up the slack that he just left.
What are your expectations for this season?
My expectations for the season are pretty high. I think that if we can train all the new people just to be prepared for their meets and all that, then they can do pretty good. And my expectations for myself are pretty high as well, so I'm looking forward to the season.
What will the strengths of this team be?
I think our strengths will be the same as last year, which would be our relay teams, which our 400 free relay team went to states last year, so we're hoping to send that team back. And then our 200 free relay team is trying to make states this year too.
Thanks for coming in, Tommy. We wish the boys swim team luck this season, and be sure to come out and support them this winter.
Good luck, swimmers, but we can't let Liz go just yet. She also met Brady Beaton to learn more about the boys basketball team. Brady is a returning force in the paint and hopes to end his junior season with a championship run also.
As the weather gets colder and the boys and the sound of the basketballs are coming from the high school gym, practices will begin soon for both our boys and girls team. Returning starter Brady Beaton of the boys varsity team tells us his expectations for this year.
The expectations this year for the boys varsity basketball team is obviously we want to win the league. We want to win districts and hopefully get on from that. But last year we came up short in both those aspects, and we're trying to get back there. We were close. We had some big wins over Lakeview last year. We ended up winning the league, and we definitely have the potential to do both those goals, but it's all about execution once we get out on the court.
How will the team be different from last year?
The team's going to be different from last year by the aspect of last year we had Matt Russell, who was our go-to guy, and who, if he was on, we could, beat any team in the state. But if he's off, we didn't have anyone really to pick up the slack. This year we have a more well-rounded base with, having a full starting five that's have varsity experience, who can pick each other up. So we won't get too hot or too cold, and we'll be able to be very consistent throughout the year.
Do you think with most of the team being on varsity for 2 years, that will have an impact on the experience of the team?
Having a lot of guys returning from last year helps because, nothing will catch us by surprise. We'll be ready for everything. I mean, we played against some of the better teams in the state with New Haven, who we beat. Lakeview was really good. And it's just going to help by not being taken back by surprise. Obviously, we're going to have some young players, but with enough varsity experience, we're going to help mature them faster. And, we're just going to not get too high or too low. And, discipline will be better this year than last. And, varsity experience always helps in any sport.
I know a lot of people are excited for Marysville basketball. Hopefully you can come out and support our Viking athletes.
Wow, that was quite a show. From the classroom to the court and from the pool to the outer space, there's no place our M6 reporters won't go for a story. We look forward to bringing you more exciting stories about Marysville High School students in our community. See you next time on Blue Water Beat.